On Thursday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken delivered opening remarks at the U.S.-Mexico high-level security dialogue. Blinken was also joined by other U.S. officials, including Attorney General Merrick Garland and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Blinken noted that officials from both countries came together 1 year ago to launch their bicentennial framework for security, public health, and safe communities, which aims to protect communities, combat transborder crimes, and go after criminal networks. The Secretary of State touted many of President Biden's recent accomplishments, including the bipartisan infrastructure law for enhancing security at the southern border and the Safer Communities Act for combating firearm trafficking.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the State Department. Bienvenido a todos y todas. Thank you so much for being here today. A year ago, we came together in Mexico City to launch the Bicentennial Framework for Security, Public Health, and Safe Communities. And we set three primary goals together: to protect our people, to prevent transborder crime, and to pursue criminal networks. And what's so critical is we define these goals together. They reflect a shared responsibility and a shared interest in working together to address challenges that neither one of our nations can adequately address alone. Today, we have an opportunity to assess the progress that we've made on these interconnected goals and to identify what more we can do to meet them. The high-level group represented here, including the Attorney General, including the Secretary of Homeland Security, including the Administrator of USAID, Ambassador Salazar, other leading U.S. government officials, focused on anti-corruption, on drug policy, on public health. All of us together reflect the comprehensive approach that the United States is bringing to bear on this set of issues, and we can visibly see a similar commitment on the part of our Mexican counterparts. That commitment is also evident in the unprecedented investments, the new legislation, the deepened coordination that we've demonstrated in our first year of implementation. Last November, President Biden signed the bipartisan infrastructure law, which includes $1.9 billion for 6 new construction and modernization projects on the U.S. southern border that include enhanced security features. In June, the President signed the bipartisan Safer Communities Act. This is the United States' first major gun safety legislation in nearly 30 years. And it makes straw purchases and the trafficking of firearms a federal crime. And that we've been using to hold traffickers accountable. We've made considerable new investments in substance use prevention, treatment, recovery, both to reduce the ravages wrought by illicit drugs and to reduce demand. This year, our Drug-Free Communities program has worked with 745 community coalitions in all 50 of our states to prevent youth substance use. Having said that, we still have a lot of work to do. We need to enhance our efforts to disrupt illicit fentanyl production and trafficking and synthetic opioids more broadly. Last year, approximately 108,000 people died in the United States of overdoses, most from synthetic opioids like fentanyl. Synthetic opioids are taking a rising toll in Mexico, too, something we've talked about in recent months. We need to enhance our efforts to disrupt illicit weapons trafficking. Last year, more than 33,000 people in Mexico were killed in intentional homicides. More than 2/3 of those came from firearms. So across these and so many security issues, the same truth holds. Our ability to protect our people depends on working effectively together. And that's what we're here to do today. From treating substance abuse use as a public health concern, to dismantling the financial networks of transnational criminal organizations, to addressing the root causes that drive people to organized crime, including a lack of economic opportunity. Marcelo, I just want to say to you and to all of our colleagues here, we are so grateful for the spirit of openness and cooperation that all of you continue to bring to this effort in the days leading up to today, indeed every day. And that's happening not just among those at this table, but critically throughout the working levels of our governments. We deeply value it. We deeply appreciate it. And we look forward to a frank, open, productive discussion today, as we've had in recent months. With